RJC COC stands for chain of custody. Chain of custody is nothing but it's a blockchain concept where it's right from the mining to jewelry. Entire supply chain has to be a COC certified so that you can transfer the traceability and the information and the integrity of the product to the end consumers. Nowadays, gold is always into a conflict. And for a conflict battle, a certification like COC really helps. How does it work as a COC? Each supply chain member has to be a COC. All your input raw material as a gold bar or as a gold article, whatever you are receiving, has to be a COC certified metal. Then only you can process it and hand over a COC transfer document to your further channel partners. As far as RJC COC is concerned, it is a 3-year certification like any other certificate, and it is valid for 3 years with a midterm audit at an interval of 12 to 15 months. Now, in COC certification also, there are 3 kinds of gold metal we define. First, we talk about mine metal. So, any mine metal you are looking for an RJC COC certificate, you have to make sure you are buying only metal from RJC COC certified or RMI certified mines only. The moment it is not RJC COC certified mine or RMI certified mine, you cannot take that material as an eligible gold metal or a gold dowry for refining. Second type of COC gold certification possible is a recycling. When I talk about a recycling metal, refer to our earlier video on recycled gold, wherein we would give a detailed understanding about the recycled gold. Recycled gold is a gold which has come from after a consumer use. It has come back from a jewelry retailer for us as a scrap. It has come back from a consumer after a use, or it has come back as an industrial waste, which is reprocessed, recycled, and then that metal you can use it for RJC COC certified recycled gold. So for the recycled gold, again, as I explained, it has to come from the recycled supplied certificate with the COC transfer document. The key element is each metal will come with the COC transfer document or equivalent standards where the RJC is given a cross recognition to other program partners for recycling, like SCS Gold or any other programs which is approved by RJC from time to time, and they give a cross recognition. Third element is grandfather. Any gold purchase before happening in 2019 would be considered as a grandfather gold, where you don't have to give any cross-reference of origin, you don't have to give any cross-reference of from where you purchase, what is the origin of the metal and all that, because the standards which has been written and published was the year 2019. Since then, all the metal before 2019 purchased by the individual or HNI, net or the individual or an individual consumer would be considered as a grandfather gold. If any industry possesses a grandfather gold, it would be again subject to a review verification. But when it comes from an individual or an HNI, it will be still got as a grandfather gold. So after discussing about these 3 categories of gold, what we use for COC, let's understand what is chain of custody all about. I'm going to take you to the main elements, 11 elements of COC, which standards requires, for which the guidelines are available on RJC website, for which COC standards are available. And this time we will give an overview of each and every COC elements. First, COC is due diligence. What do you mean by due diligence? Here the term due diligence means you have to do a verification of your counterpart about the origin of the metal, what you are receiving. And you have to categorize while receiving the metal is whether it is a mined metal, recycled metal, or a grandfather metal. And what is the origin of the metal, whether it is from Kara region. I hope you guys are aware about the Kara. Kara is a conflict-affected high-risk areas. So you are not allowed to take any Kara metal in your COC process. It will be stayed away called as non-eligible metal. The entire standard you will find a commonly used term is Kara and eligible metal. Eligible metals are those metals which can qualify as per the COC criteria for certification and for further transfer to a supply chain as a COC goal. So basically the next part is COC element 2 KYC, know your counterparty. No counterparty is mainly to do with the money laundering compliances, wherein you uh, verify the nitty-gritty and details of the individual company or organization with which we are working. For example, legal verification of the entities and the organization with whom you are working. And you also have to understand the UBO of the organization. UBO stands for Ultimate Beneficiary Owner. Till you don't know the UBO, it is quite possible that counterparty might have created a lot of shell companies, a lot of fintechs by which they are made a trade with you. Knowingly or unknowingly, you may be trapped into money laundering activity. So that's the reason your KYC mechanism has to be such a strong that you should know with who you are dealing, how long they are in this business, whether the matter what they are dealing, they are genuinely in this business to deal with you, and you have the ultimate information about their UBOs, and those information has to be reviewed at a planned frequency, like 12 months, 18 months. Again, it is based on the risk assessment. So when you do a supplier risk assessment with respect to KYC and email compliances, usually you have to do risk assessment based on country, from which country it is coming, whether it is a CARA country or a non-CARA country, based on the background verification of the individual in the company. For an example, WorldCheck, LexisNexis, there are the Google sites available where you can verify the background of the individual. You have to collect legal documents. Those legal documents has to be reviewed. Now, based on review of these 3-4 parameters, you have to establish a risk level with an individual customer or a supplier. And based on the risk level which you can categorize, usually people do it high, medium, low. So then you have to have a category of high, medium, low, and 3 KYC criteria based on high, medium, and low. For an example, for high risk suppliers and customers, I do it every 6 months. For medium risk, I do it 12 months. For low risk, I do it once in 18 months. Again, the KYC criteria can be more elaborated. Like I do a detailed KYC, or I do only a word check, or I only do the media search, I do a legal search. That criteria the organization has to be defined, and those criteria and those parameters can be scalable based on the scale of the organizational operation and level of control you have on your suppliers. Third element is internal material control. So when I talk on internal material control, is basically as a refiner or as a jewelry manufacturer, when you receive a metal, you will be receiving both the kinds of metal, which is eligible metal and non-eligible metal. For each eligible metal, there has to be a separate physical stock and bulk stock. The physical stock and bulk stock has to be segregated. When we say physical stock means each and every process, right from a point of machine to the point of dispatch or a sale, entire production process you have to physically separate. Keep it separate. Maybe a separate box, separate container, separate warehouse, separate strong room with some color warning, green color, yellow color, whatever seems. It should be so easily identifiable and easily communicable, so that the entire employees and people involved in the process that know that, okay, the metal with the green tag is a COC eligible metal, and other color tags are non-COC eligible. Same way in your ERP, every point of view, there has to be a segregation. I'll give you a classic example for a refining unit. In a refining unit, wherever you do a product test at various stages, like during the popcorn stage or during a final bar casting stage, you do a lot of tests. So during those stages, you would take gold, 200 ml, 300 ml, 400 ml, and you do a taste in your laboratory. Moment you taste and you have to take out the metal of 200, 400, 500 ml, milligram, whatever you take out, that has to be considered as a non-eligible. Because after the tasting, the metal is going to remain with the laboratory. So you have to precisely remove that metal from an eligible stock. So likewise, wherever the process loss is there, and likewise, wherever there you find a deviation and possibilities of mixing, you have to segregate. Even in your refining process, wherever you are doing aqua regia process or electrolysis process, bar process, it has to be a dedicated production line. The maximum tolerance of mixing of wood allowed is 3 to 4% as per the COC fencing. Yeah. So this is an important element, and where you have to make sure the entire production process, the physical and book stock is kept separating. Then the next element is outsource contract. So we are going to discuss now about outsourcing contract. So in COC process, if you are outsourcing any of your process, for example, jewelry filing setting process you are outsourcing, or in refining, stamping and coin making process you are outsourcing, that activity also has to be controlled or covered into the audit scope, and they will also have to follow the entire material control process as I explained you previously. So that's up to the organization whether they have to identify any processes where they want to outsource, because moment you outsource, moment more and more material movement takes place, it is a high risk of contamination. When I talk about contamination, it is contamination of eligible metal, no non-eligible metal. So it is always advisable to avoid the processes of outsource and have everything in-house. There will be more sound and better systems for any COC audits. Now we are talking about eligible mine metal, eligible recycle, eligible land products, RWT. So when you go for a COC certificate, you have to first identify which metals you want to go for COC certification. So while going to COC certification, if you want to go for eligible mines, you should have the eligible mines, the suppliers. When you go for eligible recycled metal, yes, we should have a scope. So usually majority of COC certification, whatever has been taken place, it is made for a recyclement. Which COC for recyclement. Grandfather, as I told you, April 2019, since then, nobody has approached for grandfather COC. Initially, people named grandfather COC because it was available in the early days of 2020 and 2021. But as of now, more of a certification has been eligible recycle now. Then we are talking about eligible metal because the key element in the entire RJC COC certification is whenever you transfer your hands, whenever the ownership changes from one hand to another hand, you have to give a material transfer declaration. In material transfer declaration, you have to inform your buyer and your channel partner which kind of COC it is. Whether it is a mined COC, recycled COC, or grandfather COC. This particular information has to be transferred with the kg bar details, with the weight, and other information about the reference of the origin, and many information. The ready templates we can always share with you whenever you want to implement those criteria. Then about the product and the intellectual properties. Basically, it has nothing to do but the common RJC COB 2000 COB 40. Basically, it talks about the provenance claim. So here, any provenance of such kind of COC recycled metal should be communicated to customer. There has to be a grievance mechanism. If somebody wants to know about it, somebody wants to verify whether your COC claims are appropriate or not. For that, you should have an in-detail policy procedures documented for the same. For an example, you claim that it's a 100% recycled gold jewelry. Your customer might want to do an audit or an inspection or want to send any third party to investigate, or they want to do a document verification of your claim. So you have to have a separate set of records for each recycled metal you receive, you process, and you ship to them. So entire bunch of documents should be ready to be provided to the customer for paper verification, site visit verification to understand your review. And this is a provenance claim, what we call in COB, RJC COB 2019 is a COC 14. So it is an extension of provenance claim in RJC COB. Once you take COC, you need not have to go for a provenance claim separately. And lastly, just to inform you, COC is an optional standard. It is a voluntary standard. It is not mandatory, but the prerequisite for implementing this RJC COC standard is you should be an RJC member and COP 2019 certified. Then and then only you can go for RJC COC certifications. I hope I have covered and given enough understanding about the RJC COC standards. For any further information or clarifications or understanding, you can always contact us. Our contact details are available